I'm gonna be honest, I don't love this video I'm about to make.
I fear as though I might have startled y'all by saying that I am 28 years old and $67,000 in credit card debt.
Tying up $650 a month for me.
So, my husband and I are $60,000 in debt.
Hey guys, and welcome to Pay Down Playbook. I'm here to react to the latest in finance and debt, breaking down the latest trends, advice, and tips to help you take control of your money. Hit subscribe and let's get into it.
I saw a news headline that Americans' debt has reached the highest point in history, and I wanted to look at the numbers specifically of credit card debt, which I found has peaked at $1.2 trillion in credit card debt in the United States. So what I wanted to know of the American households who carry credit card debt, about how much they're carrying. What I found is that there are approximately 123.3 million American households, 76.4% of which carry credit cards. Therefore, approximately 94.2 million American households carry credit cards. And of those, approximately 48% as of January 2025 carry a balance on their credit cards. Thus, about 45.2 million American households carry balances on their credit cards each month. So if you take the 1.2 trillion divided by this amount, that is an average of about $26.5 thousand Americans who carry credit cards have on their card.
Okay, so before we go to the next one, $26,000. And there's another video I'm going to make in the future, but let's talk about the interest rates on those. So $26,000 per household. So that's maybe one person, maybe two people have split between them. $26,000, and then interest rates right now, what are they? 20%, 25%? I've seen ones as of 2025 that are in 30 to 40%. 40% is a little bit high, but I've seen 30% interest cards. So think about that. You've got $20,000 in debt and you're paying monthly 30%. That's insane. I don't know how people are gonna get out of that.
I fear as though I might have startled y'all by saying that I am 28 years old and $67,000 in credit card debt. Let me address some of y'all's concerns. Also, at this point right now, I am not $67,000. That was just the video tag that I made when I first started doing these about 6 weeks ago. I am now $62,669.
Oh, that's so much better. Oh, thank goodness. She scared me there. 67,000. No, it's just 62,000. And I deleted out of this. I didn't put it in. But there is a 2-minute rant she goes on prior to that moment where she's talking about how she owes the IRS $7,000 and explains why it's not that big of a deal. Girl, you are over $60,000 in debt at this point. That $7K really doesn't mean anything, and there's really no point even explaining that at this point because it's so unsubstantial relative to what you have right now.
A lot of people said, Seraphy, that is crazy. I also agree. But in that, I am also including my car loan and then also a credit consolidation loan that I did 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay, so she says credit card, or she says car loan is included in that debt. So what do you think? I would say maybe she's got a $30,000 or $40,000 car loan, right? And that would make up half the debt. That would make sense. Let's see how much it is.
Listen, your girl was stressed, okay? Anyway, my car loan is $12,892 with a 7.35 APR, and then my other loan is $25,998 with a 14.92% APR. But when it comes down to core, just credit cards, I owe about $23,000. That's still not great, I will admit. But like I said in my video of me budgeting on my paycheck, I literally could not care less. If I'm in debt but I've seen the entire world, then I am rich.
This is one of my least favorite excuses, okay? You easily could work throughout your 20s, get yourself in a good financial situation, and be set up to do tons of stuff in your 30s. I get it. I have a dad who didn't go on his first cruise till he was in his 50s or 60s, has never left the country. I get where the fear comes from. I really do, because I had the same problems when I was younger. I blew money on vacations. I'm not above any of this kind of thinking, but I do see the problems with it. Like I said, I did the same thing, but I do not agree with that mentality now in my early 30s. I think it's much better. Save your money, wait for it, go when you can afford it, and feel good knowing that you went on this trip or this vacation with zero debt or minimal debt. I mean, if you want to put $500 on a vacation and that's all the debt you have, I think that's understandable. But I think this whole mentality behind, oh, well, I don't care, I got to see the world. I guess, but that stuff's gonna come to bite you. If you think you're going to die young or something, if that's your mentality, well, what if you don't? Now you're stuck with this decision you made 30 years ago, and it's ruined your whole life. You know, the best time you had for building income.
A lot of people are like, oh, when you die, it's gonna go to your next of kin. Oh, when you die, it's gonna go to your next of kin. I don't wanna have kids. I don't plan on having kids. Fuck them kids. Also, my next of kin is my dog, and I'm pretty sure that he will be dying before me, unfortunately. A lot of people are like, oh, how do you plan on getting approved for an apartment if you have really bad credit? I don't have bad credit. Just because you are in debt does not mean that you have bad credit. Things that matter the most is your credit utilization on your credit cards. So that doesn't include my car payment and my loan. And if you're keeping that below 30% for the most part, you're good, you're Gucci. If you miss a payment, you're fucked. I've never missed a payment. And then also another thing that's really high is how many actual accounts you have open. So the fact that I have this car payment is actually helping my credit. The fact that I have that loan payment is actually helping my credit because it's another open line of.
Oh my God, the people with this excuse too. I see a lot of people who are in deep debt use this excuse. Oh, well, it's actually helping my credit. Well, I spend on my credit card to help my credit. How does that matter when you're $70,000 in debt? I don't even know what this girl's monthly payments are, right? And what is she paying? Likely the bare minimum. I mean, unless she's got a great job. I don't know what her her income looks like or anything like that. But unless she has some incredible job where she's making over like thousands and thousands a month to where she's paying more than her minimums, which I doubt, because if you were paying more than your minimums and not overspending, you wouldn't be in $23,000 in credit card debt. So that's where this line of thinking really can screw you over. You start to justify, oh, well, I got another one I see a big one. 5% cash back. I get 5% cash back. Well, how does that matter when you're paying 20, 30% in interest? Honey buns, you lost the 5%, it's gone, you know? So I see where they're trying to pull the logic, but it doesn't matter that much if you keep building and building this hole. Like, you need to get out of the hole and build credit that way. Good for her that if she is not lying and keeping up on her payments and not having late payments. I mean, I think that's awesome.
And then also a big thing is combined, how long have you had credit? Some of these credit cards I've had for like 8 years. Now to get into the nitty gritty of my credit cards. I have 17 credit cards total. Out of those 17 credit cards, only 6 of them carry a balance. One of them has a small balance. It is my Best Buy card, but I have 0 APR until June of 2025. So I'm just making small payments on that so I can kind of like bust out a couple of them that I have high APRs on. There's 2 different ways.
If you are bad with credit cards, do not open extra credit cards. Don't leave it there for yourself. Like, don't give yourself the opportunity, I've got 17, right? So I'm maxed out on 10 of them. I still have 7 more I can dip into. If you clearly already have a problem with the debt side of things and not paying things off monthly, don't open more credit cards. Just don't. It's just gonna tempt you.
That people do, like getting rid of credit card debt, is by doing the highest APR first or by doing the lowest payment first. I'm doing kind of like a mix of both of them because I'm trying to think a little bit smarter. So like, I owe $350 on my Best Buy credit card, but I have 0 APR until June of 2025. I'm just gonna pay the $50 every month until June of 2025 and then pay it off then and not have to deal with the APR for that one. My next lowest one is my Apple card, which has $2,578 on it. So I would want to hit that one a little bit harder because I have 27.34 APR on it. So I want to bring down that Apple one and I want to pay it off, but I'm not going to do that by paying off the Best Buy card first because I have that 0 APR. Some of the people in the comments are saying that I'm stupid. Think what you want, but this is what makes sense to me. Why would I be trying so hard to pay off a card that has 0 APR on it rather than paying off one that is a low balance but has a higher APR.
Honestly, no, I don't think that's that stupid. If you have something that has 0 APR, yeah, that's what you want to target. Target those high interest. You can, I mean, there are a lot of ways to tackle debt. There is no one perfect way. If you, like, for instance, I had like $12,000 in debt recently. And I decided, I had one card that did have a lower APR, but I was almost done paying it off. I just went ahead and paid that one off. I mean, is that the best or most logical? No, but sometimes things can kind of make sense to you. So I don't think it's stupid if you go, I think it's actually extra smart if you try to pay off the one with the highest APR. Why? Because then you have more money that you're not losing from those interest payments that you can put towards your other cards. So I think it makes sense.
Someone else said that I shouldn't be contributing to my 401k if I have debt. And I just think that's stupid. First off, I get an employer match on my 401k, so obviously I'm going to be contributing into my 401k. Some people are like, oh, you can pay off all of your debt right now with whatever's in your 401k, which first off, I can't. I got like $4,000 in there, y'all. Then they're saying like, use that money, pay off your credit cards, and then you can make a 401k later down the road. I like my 401k with my employer right now because they take care of everything. They do all of the investing. I have a plan set up with them where as soon as money hits into that account, it's all automatically invested into different things. I don't have to do anything with it. And if I were to get my own plan, then I have to like figure things out, and that's too much work for me. I'm literally just a girl. Someone else said it's absolutely wild that I only want to have $600 in my checking account as like a little buffer. That's just my checking account, y'all. I have another account. I have a high yield savings account. And yes, I have thousands of dollars in that one, but not like a crazy amount of thousands of dollars. I will not diminish that. That is such a security net that makes me feel safe having it. Plus, keeping that money in my high yield savings account is literally just making me free money. This year I made like $250 off of it, which isn't a ton, but still. It's also $250 that I will be accumulating.
$250, she says. That has gotta be a portion of what she's paying every month in these interest fees. So how is $250 worth the amount that you are paying in interest? I'm sorry, but that one does not make sense to me. That is not worth it. If she were making $5,000 or something, but honestly, sorry honey buns, if you can't afford to pay your debt, you can't afford to have a savings account. Get the debt gone, get it out of here, then get the savings account.
More money on. So yeah, those are a couple of things that I was able to answer questions on. I don't know if y'all have more questions or just like think that I'm stupid. I don't know. But I'm truly just like not stressed about having debt. Like if I'm able to pay my bills and I've traveled the world and lived my life, I'm good. I don't care. I'm just saying.
Before we start the second one, I do have a problem with this sort of lackadaisical. This seems to be more common than ever. Who cares if I'm in debt? Who cares about all this stuff? I'm living my life. I'm having the best time of my life. There's some truth to that, but just limit yourself accordingly, and I think that's where people really struggle. You can have some vacations. You can do some nice things for yourself. I don't think you need to eat ramen noodles every day and never do anything fun. But when you're $67,000 in debt, you know, and only the car thing really shocked me. Only $10,000, like $12,000 was her car debt. When you have that much debt, sorry, but you don't get the vacations. You don't. You know, you do need a plan for your future. And even if you don't plan on having kids, you will take out the stress that this is causing you on the people around you that you love.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't love this video I'm about to make, but we're gonna do my 2023 credit card interest reveal. How much did I pay in credit card interest in 2023? And let me tell you, it's horrid. It's really horrible. I feel like I have actually not really talked about how much I get charged in interest very much because it scares me and I don't like to think about it. At this point of my credit card debt payoff journey, I am not like opening any more cards or like doing any other like additional things because I am going to be able to pay off the debt so quickly. But had I started over, I absolutely would have done a personal loan or been better with my balance transfer. The issue is I did a balance transfer from my big Chase card that has my highest percent of interest, which I'll check and see what the actual percentage is. I'm not really sure. I did a balance transfer last year, but I still was not in the place to be paying off my cards. So all the balance transfer did for me was move $8,000 of credit card debt onto a 0 interest card, give me more credit line on my Chase card, and run that card up again.
No.
So we just ran it back up. Anyways.
Before she says it, banks love people like this. They love that you're going to transfer all your debt to them, and then they can get a little taste of that sweet, sweet cash, okay? And then you're also running it up on this other bank. It's their dream. It's what they want. I did the same thing with one of my cards when I did a balance transfer. I got smarter. I don't do that anymore, but I have done that, and I was embarrassed. It sucks because you're like, wow, I could actually have a chance of paying this off with 0 APR. Right back in the hole.
Okay, for the credit card interest reveal, on my Chase card, I got charged $5,098.46 in credit card interest. That is 1 month of my salary. I got charged my salary and interest. And then my other card, my Wells Fargo one that is at 0 now, I got charged $569.85. So in total, I got charged over $5,500 in credit card interest. The APR on that credit card, which is the interest rate, was 25.24% on the Chase card. I feel like for the most part, I would get charged like $300 to $400 in interest, but honestly, like when my cards were really, really high, I didn't even notice that. Like I didn't even notice it. It wasn't until I started actually paying off my credit card debt that I started paying attention to how much interest I was actually being charged. So something to think about. Anyways, it's going down rapidly, which is amazing. Thank God.
Yeah, that is so sad. $5,000. Talk about those vacations, right? And I think her debt was close to the last person's debt. So she's talking about, oh, I made $250 in this one high yield savings account. Okay, yeah, but you just spent $5,000 on nothing. You know, that's the crazy part. Like nothing. $5,000 just gone magically in the ether, disappeared, you know? And I think that's the difference. Is it's like, that sucks. Like she said, a whole month of work just gone, just spent on nothing. At least if you did have a vacation to show for it, you could be happy about it. But that is just wild to me.
Free me.
Do I use my credit cards even though I'm $48,000 still in debt, $109 overall? This person says that every card is over limit and I'm paying late fees. Well, there's a very specific reason for that, and it's because I'm paying off a 327% loan that is tying up
327% loan. Just making sure you heard that.
$50 a month for me. And that loan, if I can get it paid by next Friday, will actually end up saving me about $250 a month in interest. You heard that correctly. 327% too. Not all of these cards are over limit like you're saying they are. My TJ Maxx credit card and my Discover are in hardship, and that is back.
I'm sorry for those TJ Maxx and Ross and, oh, hey, do you want to sign up for a credit card? You know a lot of the people, maybe one of them, have a problem going into Ross, going into TJ Maxx. You feel like, oh, I'll just put on my credit card. Again, the points, there's a huge psychology behind all this spending, and that's what makes it so dangerous.
Pay, and I'm almost caught up. That's why you're seeing negative amounts. And TJ Maxx is close. Capital One is not over the balance. It's actually under by $3. The last two that you're seeing, Citi and American Express, yes, they are over limit, but it's because I'm having to shift things around. Would I rather pay $40 in late fees, or would I rather pay 327% interest? The long and short of it is, I would rather take care of my 320% interest and then go get those cards caught up. I did use my credit cards, however, at the beginning of this journey because I had about a $500 deficit I know that a lot of people are new here, and that's why I thought I'd just come on and clarify this a little. But next Friday, come hell or high water, that stupid loan is getting paid off.
Good for her, at least. At least she's got a plan. You know, it really, I think, is unfortunate when you find yourself in these really high interest loans. They take advantage of people. They 100% are willing to give out money to people with really bad credit, really high interest, desperate people. It's sad, but at the same time, sometimes it's people just spending money poorly and they have nowhere else to turn. They want to keep spending money. And like that other girl was saying, oh, I don't care about debt. Well, you will when you have to start taking out all these loans from these sketchy places that are charging you 300%, charging you $300 on a $50 loan or something like that. So, I mean, that's the sort of situation you are trying to avoid getting into by not spending all your money and getting into debt.
So, my husband and I are $60,000 in debt. Okay.
Part of the problem. You are.
And let me explain how we got here. In June of 2022, we had a good amount of savings and decided that our home that we've been living in for a couple years just needed some maintenance and some upgrades. You can see behind me, we live in like a very normal house, but there were some things like on the outside where our stucco was falling off, so we needed to have that repaired. We had our house painted, we upgraded our bathroom a little bit, and also decided to pay off my husband's private student loan because the interest is not great. And so we had plenty of savings and we decided to just drain those bad boys. We both had really stable jobs. We would be able to squirrel away some money over time and build back up our savings again.
Private student loans, that's a money pit. Repairing houses, I'm personally, I know a lot of people are kind of torn on the rent or buy a house. I personally am pro buying houses. I think it's worth some small repairs and stuff like that, but she said remodeling their bathroom. And it's hard because, you know, again, you think you're in a good financial situation. I don't know exactly what happened with them, but then you find out, oh, hey, you know, we actually can't afford this. So let's see where this goes.
2 weeks later, unexpectedly, I was laid off from my job. And I'm the breadwinner of our household, so it did not go well. I was unemployed for about 7 months. Thank goodness I had social media to keep us afloat for a little bit, but here's the deal. We had to put a lot of stuff on credit card to be able to keep ourselves afloat. So anything that could go on a credit card went on a credit card. And that allowed my husband's income to pay for our mortgage, our car payments, our daycare, things like that. But everything else went on a credit card. We cut back as much as we could, but there's still a lot of expenses. We finally decided to do a debt consolidation loan, and it's about $65,000. And we're gonna try and pay it off. We did a 5-year loan plan, but we're gonna try and pay it off in the next 2 years if I can finally get that OnlyFans account going. I'm just kidding, I'm not gonna do OnlyFans, but that's our goal. If our kids gets out of daycare this year, we've spent $36,000 a year on daycare, so one of them graduates this year, the other one goes to VPK, so that'll save us a little bit of money. Our hopes are that we're able to put a lot of what we were already paying for daycare towards this loan and get it paid off sooner than planned. But your girl loves to shop, so I'm gonna have to do some shit to keep myself accountable to this. So I'm coming on the internet and telling you what my deepest, darkest secret. Where are you going? Oh. Bye. Buying a puppy when you're in $60,000 of credit card debt is not a good idea. I'm just saying that.
That's the thing, pets, don't get them if you can't afford them. If you're already in debt, as she said puppy, and I really hope they didn't just get this dog, but I feel like maybe they did. If you're already in debt, like major debt, yeah, sorry, don't get a dog. If you need surgery, if you need something, you have to shell that out. Wait until you're financially stable. And I think that's the big lesson in all of this. A lot of people don't realize you just can't have what you want when you want it. Life is like that. I think everybody's trying to pretend like they're temporarily embarrassed millionaires, when in reality, we just can't afford it. Get back in the mindset of older generations. Go back to the 1930s Depression era, and at least take a little tablespoon of it. You know, you don't need to completely live in shambles, but maybe just remember that there have been many generations of people who haven't had stuff. They can't just get what they want all the time. And again, if you want to screw yourself and put yourself in financial despair, you know, that's your decision. But you know, these people are obviously stressed, and it's a very stressful thing, and you should try to avoid it as much as you can. Avoid the extra stuff, avoid the Shein shopping and the Rosses, avoid remodeling if it's not completely necessary and you can't pay for it in cash or pay off a credit card at the end of the month. So I get it, you need daycare, you need some of this stuff, but at the end of the day, things pile up.